In this video, we're going to look at some scheduling options that you can set up for Google Meets in advance. This allows you to set controls for your meeting before the meeting starts, as opposed to having to worry about those settings once you're in the meeting. So I'm going to say that I have a Google Meet review session after school today. So I'm going to go to my calendar. Give it a title and go to more options. And then I will add my Google Meet to it. And then before I show you some of those options, I'm going to add some sample students. Here. And before I go ahead and hit save, I'm going to click on video call options, and you can see there's a whole bunch of settings I can decide before my meeting even starts. By having host management on, I can decide whether students can share their screen or not, or send reactions. So if I frequently meet with students or even colleagues and people are constantly sending emoji reactions and I find that distracting, I can turn that off. I can also disable the ability for people to share their screen in advance. Here I can decide whether people will be able to use the chat. So when using this with students, maybe that's something I turn off, but I want students to be able to communicate with me, so I'm going to keep it on. And then I can decide who can join my meeting. I prefer open because sometimes people don't join from their Chromebooks, they join from their phones where they may not be logged in. So this is just allowing anyone that has the link to the meeting to join. I have attendance tracking turned on. This way I don't need to take attendance during the meeting. After the meeting, I will get a spreadsheet with everyone who's joined, what time they joined, and how many minutes they were in the meeting. And then I'm not going to allow people to share activities. The waiting room, I can turn on a waiting room. So what that means is that when someone joins the meeting, instead of joining the meeting, they're going to sit in a waiting room until I let them in. Now there's another option here, which allows everyone in the waiting room to join the meeting as soon as I join. Now, why I would have these settings on is I might provide students a link to a session and they might go to that link before I get there. By turning this on, they'll go into the waiting room, so they won't be able to chat with each other. And by turning this on, I won't need to individually admit each student. That can be really distracting during a meeting. And sometimes you may even miss those requests if you've already started your session and someone joins late. This is the screen I can use to decide if I'd like to record the meeting or transcribe the meeting. So if there are students who want to attend but they can't, if I choose to record the meeting, I can get a video that I can share out so they can watch that on their own. I can even include captions. So I'm going to set those captions to English. But if I know I have students in my class that speak Portuguese and that's the sole second language in my class, I could set the captions to that language. For guests, this screen would be used if I wanted to add a co-host. This would be someone who could start the meeting in case I couldn't start it in time. So it would have to be someone that was actually invited to the meeting. I wouldn't be able to add someone who was not. Right? And then for breakout rooms, if I choose to use breakout rooms, I may or may not, but if I know I am going to use breakout rooms, I can set these up in advance. So I could set up different rooms and I can drag and drop students to see which room that they're going to go to. If I don't like how they have this set, I can clear it and then I can drag and drop students to a room based on their interest. Now, if I leave that blank, what that means is that students will get to choose which room they go into. So that's really up to you, what you choose to do. But these are some ways that you can establish some settings for your Google Meets prior to getting into the meeting.